Okay, fine. So in today's class, we are going to discuss on a topic called as canal head walk. Okay. Suppose, say we have this river here. This is the river. And what we want to do, we want to divert some amount of water from this river into a canal so that this canal can carry this water to for agriculture purposes, for irrigation purposes, or for various purposes, right? So our aim is to divert the amount of water that is present in this river into a canal. So for us to be able to do that, what we have to do, we have to construct some kind of a structure or some kind of a walk here so as to raise this the level of water, to raise the head of the water. Then only we can divert this water from this river into the canal. Okay, so this construction that we have to construct across the river in order to raise the level of water so that we can divert it into a canal. This kind of a walk is called as canal head walk or just head walk. Okay, so if you see here, the walk constructed at the head of the canal in order to divert the silt free water is called as a diversion head walk. That means whatever water that we are diverting from this river into the canal should be free from silt. So we are going to see about this thing, the canal head walk. How can we divert the water from the river into the canal? What are the various components of this structure that we need to construct in order to divert the water from the river into the canal? Okay, so the various type of canal head walk can be of two types. Broadly, it can be classified into two types. One is called a storage head walk. For example, if we construct this structure here just to store the water, we are not going to divert it. We're just going to store it so that we can use it whenever it is needed. That kind of a head walk is called as a storage head walk. However, if we are going to divert this water into a canal, and that kind of a work is called as a diversion head work. So there are two ways whereby we construct this structure here, either to store the water, just to store the water, so that it can be used for other purpose. In that case, we construct either a dam, a small dam and all, a small check dam and all, so that we can store the water, or we do what we do, we divert this water into a canal. So for that, what we have to do, we have to construct either a weir or a barrage so as to raise the level of water. Okay, so we either construct a weir or a barrage to raise the level of water so that we can divert it into a canal. So the various components of a diversion head walk are shown in this figure. Okay, say this is the river, you see, this is the river. So what we have to do, first of all, we need to construct either a weir or a barrage so as to raise the level of water. Then we have this guide bank, we have this marginal bund, we have a fish ladder, we have divide wall, then here we have undersluice. This is the canal whereby we want to divert the water. Here we have the head regulator and here we have the sill excluder. So we are going to see these components. We're going to discuss this component one by one. What are the role, what are the functions? And actually this is how actually we divert the water. These are the components of the diversion headwork that we need to construct in order to divert the water from the river into the canal. Okay. So this diagram you should again draw it, because last time I've given you assignment to draw some diagram. So again, please draw this diagram also and submit in that same email ID that I've given. Okay. So because this is important, only when you start drawing it, then only you remember all these components. Therefore, as an assignment, you also draw this diagram and submit it to me by tomorrow. So let us see now all of this component one by one. First of all, let us see about the weir or the barrage. Okay. So now see, this is the upstream of the river and this is a downstream. So what we do actually, we construct some kind of a solid barrier which is made of a concrete so as to raise the water in the upstream end. Okay. So because of the presence of this solid barrier, there is some kind of a ponding here, right? So you see here, initially this is the water. So what we do actually, we construct some kind of a solid barrier here. That's why the water level in the upstream portion has been raised up. Okay, so if this ponding of water that is happening here, if this ponding is being done by the solid weir structure, solid structure that we construct here, that kind of a structure is called as a weir. Okay, here it is made of a concrete, and here the entire ponding at the upstream end is being done because of this structure that we construct here, which is made of a concrete. That's this kind of a structure is called as weir. Sometime we put some kind of a gates here, but very often we provide gates. So you see here we provide some gates on top of this weir, but that only occasionally. So even though we provide some gate here, the major process, the major role that is responsible for ponding of water at the upstream end is because of this concrete structure. That's why this structure is called as the weir. In case of a barrage, okay, in case of a barrage, we do not construct any solid structure. What we do instead, we provide this kind of a gate here. You see here, we provide this kind of a gate in order to raise the water at the upstream end. Okay, so the major difference between a barrage and a weirs are, in case of a barrage, the major the all the ponding that is happening at the upstream end is because of the is being done by the gates. Okay, it's clearly mentioned here. However, in case of a weir, all the pondings are being done with the help of a solid weirs. So this is the difference between the weir and the barrage. You can see here, this is see here. Okay, here this is the real structure here. Let me zoom in. Here we provide some barrage here, some gate, and you see here there are some kind of a machines that are being attached here, so as they can raise this gate. Okay, they can open it or they can close it using these machines that are attached here. So this is about the barrage. So another thing is that during the flood the gates are open so the afflux is very small. What is afflux basically? So say, okay, this is the initial level of the river, okay, initial level of the water. However, because of the construction of the weir or the barrage, so at the upstream end the flood level has rise up, right? This amount of water is being risen up because of the construction of weir or barrage at the upstream end. So this raise of water, this is called as afflux. Let me unlock the meeting. Okay, so this is called as the afflux. So you should remember this thing. Afflux is nothing but the rise in maximum flood level at the upstream end due to the construction of weir or barrage. Okay, so we have studied about the first component, this component. So what is weir and barrage? Basically, for us to be able to divert this water from the river into the canal, we need to raise the level. That's why we construct a weir or a barrage. The difference between them is that in case of a barrage we put some gates, okay, in case of a weir it's just a solid structure. So is it clear here? Is it clear to everyone what is a weir and barrage? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. Now let us see the other components. Okay, so here the next one we'll see is the guide bank and the marginal bunds. So guide banks are nothing but they are constructed in order to guide the river into a restricted area. So if we do not provide these guide banks, then the water will flow, okay, somewhere here, somewhere here. So we need to guide the river to flow into a restricted path so that only we can raise the water level, right? So we narrow down the length of the river so as the flow will be more, and then only we can raise the level of water. That's why this is the role of the guide bank. If you can see here, here. Okay, this is the guide bank basically. So here they provide with some stone in order to protect this guide bank. So this is how we guide the river so that it will flow into a particular path so as to raise the level of water. And then the marginal bunds. So now, because what happened, now we have guided the river here, we have restricted the flow. So the water level will rise up, right? Because we have restricted the flow. So sometime, okay, when there is high water, high flow of water, okay, so because this area is being restricted, so when there is sufficient high flow water, then the entire region nearby this part will be flooded, and then it may affect these people or any kind of a crops or something that is present here. So for us to protect that, what we do, we provide some kind of a marginal bunds so that if even if the water has spilled from here, the water will not affect this area that is present here. That is the role of the marginal bunds. So whatever water that is spilled here because of the high flood water and all, so this area will be protected by these marginal bunds. Okay, so this is the role of the marginal bunds. They are provided on the upstream side in order to protect area from submergence due to the rise of water during flood level. So these marginal bunds are constructed till they join the contour that are having elevation more than the highest flood level. Okay, so they are constructed up to they join the contour, the elevation which have more elevation than the highest flood level. So we can be sure, okay, during the flood level that this area will not be affected. So this is the role of guide bank, marginal bunds, and the weir and barrage. So let us see the next one. Next one is the divide wall. Okay, this one, divide wall. So this divide wall, actually, when we construct the weir and barrages, okay, so we do not construct it for the entire stretch till it reach this diversion part. So we provide some kind of a wall called divide wall which separates the here the under sluice gate and the weir and barrage. So what is the role of this divide wall? Let us see here. Okay, so a divide wall is constructed parallel to the direction of flow of water in order to separate the weir or the barrage from the undersluice section. Okay, so that I will explain to you what is the role of this undersluice. But for now, just know that the role of this divide wall is just to separate the undersluice with the weir or the barrages. So adjacent to this divide wall, there is a fish ladder. Because what happened? Once we obstruct the flow, right? We obstruct the flow here. So if we do not provide any fish ladder, so the fish cannot migrate from the upstream to the downstream or from the downstream to the upstream. So we need to provide some provision to the fish also. That's why this fish ladder is being provided here so that the fish can migrate from the upstream or the downstream or from vice versa without any effect as a result of the construction of this kind of walk. So you see here, okay, so this is the role of the fish ladder here, whereby we construct like this. So why we construct this step like this? So that the velocity will not be high, okay, so that the fish can flow easily from the upstream or to the downstream. This is the fish ladder that we are constructed whenever we dam a river or whenever we divert a river. We also should think of the mic the migratory of the fish. That's why we provide this kind of a ladder called as the fish ladder. Okay, so this is the so far we discussed about the marginal bunds, the guide banks, then we have discussed what is the divide wall, what is the fish ladder, and the weir and barrage. So this nearer this one more thing you have to remember is that this divide wall or the fish ladder is always constructed to the side whereby we divert the water. Okay, it's always constructed to the side of the canal. You see here there is a weir and barrage, right? So this divide wall or this fish ladder should not be put here. It should be put on this side, whereby it is close to the tunnel where we divert the water. In case, here you see here, we divert the water only on the left side. So in case we divert the water here also, so the weir will be only up to this part, and then here we need to construct again the undersluice as well as the fish ladder and the divide wall here in case we divert the water this portion also. So wherever there is a canal, we have to provide the underslice, we have to provide the divide wall and the fish ladder in the same side with the canal. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. So now let us see what is the role of this undersluice gate. Okay, so here, okay, let us see this portion here. So here, okay, we're in the area where we divert the water into the canal. So here we should make sure that the flow here is not of turbulent in nature. If the flow is of turbulent in nature, then what happened? There will be silt content which will enter into the canal, and eventually it will affect the capacity of the canal. That's why the role of this creating this undersluice gate here. Okay, this undersluice gate here, you see, the function is that they are constructed in order to create a less turbulent pocket near the canal head. Okay, so this is the role of this undersluice gate, so as to prevent the silt content, so as to prevent the silt content from entering into the canals. That's why they are also called as the scouring sluices. This is the role of constructing this underslice gate near the canal head so as to prevent the, the scouring part in order to prevent the silt content from entering into the canal. Okay. So near this undersluice gate, we put some kind of a silt excluder. Silt excluder. If you see in this diagram, okay. So in this nearby this undersluice gate, we provide some silt excluder. So the role of this silt excluder is that the same thing, to remove the silt content to make sure only the clean water will enter into the canal. Okay. Then you see before it enter into the canal, we have another regulator here. A regulator basically whereby we can control how much amount of water it should be diverted into the canal. So using this regulator here, again, this is the picture of a regulator here, you see. So here again, there are some wire that is connected here, so as we can control how much amount of water is to being diverted into the river. Depend upon our needs, depend upon the capacity of the canal, we can accordingly through this regulator we can adjust how much amount of water is being diverted into the canals. So again, let me repeat here. So for us, okay, to divert the water from the river into the canal, so we have to construct all this structure. All this structure we have to construct. First of all, we need to construct a guide bank in order to restrict the water into a particular part, so as there will be sufficient water to raise the level of water. So for that, what we need to do, we need to construct a weir or a barrage to raise the water. Okay. So then, because when we raise the water, okay, during high flood and all, the water may spill here. So what we do, we construct this marginal band so as to prevent this area from being affected. Okay, this is the role of marginal band and the guide bank and the weir and the barrage. Then from this, we construct one divide wall to separate the weir and barrages and the sluice gate. Okay, along with the divide wall, we provide some fish ladder so as the fish can travel easily from the upstream to the downstream uh, without any disturbance as a result of this construction. Then here we provide this undersluice gate, and then along with the undersluice gate, we provide some silt excluder so as to prevent the silt from entering into the canal. So here the silt will get deposited here, and then we open the gate here, the sluice gate. so that the sill will move in the downstream end. Then once all the sill is removed, then using this head regulator here, we adjust how much water is to being diverted into the canal. Okay, so this is about the diversion head work. And always remember, this often comes that this divide wall and the fish ladder is always on the side where there is an offtake canal. In case there are offtake canal on both sides, so the divide wall or this undersluice need to be provided on both sides. Okay, so is it clear to everyone? Okay, so what I will do, I actually there is one video I found which is very good. They have explained very good. You'll see the real structure, how they construct all this structure in the real field. So I will be sending that video link now in the group. So all of you, please watch that video so that all these parts will be clear to you. Okay, so you watch the video, you see how they select the site, how they select all this site, where to construct all this part. So I'll be sending that video link. So all of you watch that video link and then draw this diagram and mail it to me in the same email ID that you have submitted your assignment. Then mark your attendance in the same Google Sheet that you used to mark your attendance. Okay. Thank you then. I will send you the link. Everyone, please watch that video link. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If anyone have any question, you can ask me. Let me search that.